everyone, welcome to English class. This is Learn English Easily channel, and today we are going to study the poem written by Subramania Bharati. And this poem has been translated from Tamil by A.K. Ramanujan. The name of the poem is Wind, and this has been taken from the book Beehive of class 9th. Now we are going to study the poem. You can see the picture that a wind is blowing. So a cloud has been shown blowing the wind out of its mouth. So we are going to have the introduction of the poem first. We all know that wind is a natural phenomena. So in this poem, the poet talks to the wind. The power of wind has been described, and the poet says that wind is destructive. He has linked the destructive power of the wind to the adversities of life. Adversities means odd situations of life, unexpected, unfavorable conditions of life. And he says that weak people break down, but stronger people emerge out of adversities. Stronger people are able to face the challenges of life strongly, positively. The poem gives an important message that we should be mentally tough and physically strong in order to survive the hardships of life. A weak person breaks down like a weak building and crumbles. So, crumbles means damaged into pieces and shaken. We must make these destructive forces our friends with our strength and determination. So I hope that what you have come to know the idea conveyed by the poet in this poem, that one should be strong enough physically and mentally tough to face the challenges of life. And wind here has been compared to the odd circumstances and conditions of life which are mostly unfavorable. So we are moving towards the poem and explanation. First stanza of the poem. The poet is addressing the wind here, talking to the wind. Wind, come softly. Don't break the shutters of the windows. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. You're very clever at poking fun at weaklings. So, in this stanza, the poet is talking to the wind. He's addressing softly and requesting the wind to come softly, and it should not be harsh. And he requests the wind not to break the shutters of the windows, doors of the windows, and also not to scatter the papers. Scatter means spread out, spread here and there, litter the papers. So he requests the wind not to spread the papers and also not to throw the books on the shelves. There, you look what you did. He again asks the wind that it must see that what it has done. It has thrown all the books down and torn the pages of the books. He also talks to the wind and says that it has brought the rain again, and wind is very clever as it makes fun of the weak things. Weaklings here means weak persons, weak things, and poking means making fun over here. So in this stanza we can see that how the poet is requesting the wind to come softly and not to make fun and not to throw the things down. So this is all about the first stanza, and I hope that you people have understood it. Now we are moving towards the picture. You can see how the wind is playing its game, and a person having the umbrella in his hand. He also feels very weak, and he is shaken. The trees are shaken, the house is shaken, everything is being shaken down, falling. as if the wind is very strong. Frail, crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives. So, crumbling hearts, crumbling means here falling or to cause something to break. So, whenever something shakes down and is broken, that's crumbling. So, frail means weak houses crumble, they also fall down, and doors also crumbled, and rafters here means the beam which is used in order to support the roof on which some slates are put. So those are the rafters. So rafter, I've written the meaning here, sloping beam which support the roof of the building. So you can see that the wind is destroying everything. Wind is disturbing each and everything. Crumbling means falling them so that it may break. Crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood here means the furniture and even the trees, crumbling bodies of humans, animals, and crumbling lives, hearts. So it is making everything disturbed by getting very powerful. So wind is disturbing all those things and making them fall down so that they can break down. The wind winnows and crushes them all. So these are also the lines of the stanza that you can see that the wind winnows them. So winnow is to, grain free of chaff, separate grain from husk by blowing on it. So you can see that when the grain is freed of chaff and separate from the husk, the wind god winnows and crushes them all. So crush means break them into pieces, we can say. He won't do what you tell, so come, let's build strong homes, let's joint the doors firmly, practice to form the body, make the heart steadfast. Do this, and the wind will be friends with us. Here, the poet says that the wind will not listen anything, whatever we say to them, or he is asking the others not to say anything to the wind because it's not going to listen anything. It won't do whatever you want him to do. Wind will do whatever it wants to. It's powerful, strong. So that's why we have to build our houses stronger. So strong houses, strong homes should be there, and the doors must be joined firmly so that they cannot be opened easily by the strong wind. Even we should practice that our body is firm, our body is not shaken, and our hearts should also be steadfast. They must be firm, they must be, still, they should not be shaken easily, and we should not be fearing. So if we do all these things, then the wind will be friends with us. So wind here has been compared to the hardships of life, as it has been said, the odd situations of life, and that's why the poet wants the people to be stronger physically and mentally tough in order to face all types of the problems that come in the way of life, in the way of their works, hindrances, whatever. So they should be strong and tough in order to face all types of the challenges. Steadfast means firm here, and we can see that the poet wants us to make friends with the wind, that is the adversities in our lives. He says that the problems will not listen to us, they'll come, and so we should be prepared for them. In the preparation, what should we do? We should build strong homes and close the doors of our house firmly so that the wind cannot get into. And then he says that we should also make our bodies strong and hearts firm to face these challenges of life. And then once we are strong enough, all the challenges will be like our friends, will not feel that they are troublesome. Move to the next lines of the poem. The wind blows out weak fires. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good. We praise him every day. So, in this stanza, the poet wants to say that wind mostly blow out means extinguish. It blow out the weak fires, the fires which are already weak. They will be blown out, so they will not be able to increase. But the fire also increases. The strong fires, they roar and flourish. So man should also be like that. Human should be also, man means person should also be like that. They should be strong and tough so that they grow, they flourish, not suffer, and not are shaken by the problems of life. So the friendship, there should be friendship with the difficulties of life, and should be able to face those difficulties very strongly and happily, positively. And wind has been said to be the god here. Just like god, we should worship them and we should praise its strength, but we should not be afraid of it. So flourish means grow here. Some literary devices used in the poem. You can see rhyme scheme. The entire poem is written in free verse. There is no rhyme scheme in the poem. So free verse, wherever there is no rhyme scheme, is called free verse. Other literary devices used are as follows. Anaphora. So anaphora means, or anaphora, when a word is repeated at the start of the two or the more consecutive lines, it is the device of anaphora. Like lines 2 and 3 begin with don't, and lines 6 and 7, 8, they begin with you. So the same word is used again and again in the consecutive lines, then it is anaphora. Personification is also another poetic device used in this poem. Wind has been personified here when the poet says you are, he is, he is using such words, you and he, and in this way this has been compared to as a person. So personification is there. Wind has been personified in this poem. Repetition, the word crumbling has been repeated many times to lay stress on it, emphasis. The poet wants to say that the wind crushes everything that's weak. That's why he repeats the word crumbling. So frail houses, buildings crumble, and doors crumble in that way. So he is talking about crumbling, and it's repeated again and again. That's why there's repetition. Another is alliteration. The repetition of a consonant sound in close connection, like wind, winnows, want, want. So wo sound has been repeated here. That's alliteration. And symbolism. So symbol is here. Symbolism means wind is a symbol, and this is the symbol of challenges in life. It refers to the adversities of life. So he is saying here, the poet is saying here that window is a symbol for the difficulties and troubles of life that come in the way of humans, growth, progress, and sometimes he is not happy because of such type of the problems. So here adversities of life are is there for wind, or wind is the symbol of all those things. So symbolism is there. So I hope that you all have understood the poem. Now you can easily deal with the question answers of the poem. Thank you. Have a nice day ahead.